Sexually attractive and physically fit.
Brunette and have be in shape, like a healthy physical shape.
Strong, broad, and sexy.
I would say physically fit and able to smile.
I was gonna say assembled and clean.
One physical trait I think would be being pretty average looking, like not being exceptionally beautiful at all. And the other one would be to be like a fairly physically fit person.
I see her wearing a non-form-fitting shirt and a good old pair of jeans.
Intelligent and witty.
Would be confident and a good sense of humor.
Confidence and individuality.
Confident and courageous.
Independent and tolerant.
To be like smart and confident, but be quiet about it. And I think the other one would be to be perceptive.
Independent and confident.
So how did I become a vampire slayer? Well, it wasn't as easy as you would think it would be, that's for sure. I didn't wake up one morning and decide, you know what, today's a good day to dominate evil spirits who have risen from the dead with fangs as sharp as knives and as many lives as a cat. I'm going to dedicate my life to saving the world and ridding the planet of scary vampires. No, it wasn't that easy or simple. I wouldn't even say that it was something that I necessarily asked for or chose. But I guess you could say that I was born like this. And yes, at times, it's a huge burden on my life, my friendships, my relationships with my family, and oh, don't even get me started on my love life because it's non-existent. But hey, I don't think anyone would be able to handle what I do. I mean, it's dangerous. I never know if I'm going to get hurt or die, or even worse, end up like one of them. I read in a Dr. Seuss book one time that you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. You are the guy who will decide where to go. I seek comfort in that because I know that being independent is important to me, and making my own decisions is important to me. Sorry. How did I even get to preaching my independence? Sorry. You want to know how I became a vampire slayer, right? Okay, well, it started as a child. As I mentioned before, I guess it was something I was born with. For as early as I can remember, I would be playing in the grass in my backyard of the house, and I would literally beat up kids play fighting. I mean, it wasn't intentional. I don't even think that I knew what I was doing. I was surprisingly agile and strong for my age. I mean, I think I was around 3 when it really became noticeable. My parents were told by everyone that their child was a freak. No one would let their kids around me. So I resorted to spending a lot of time on my own. This resulted in a lot of self-discovery and reflection. Through the years, I'd worked on controlling my strength and power. I mean, I had no idea why I was given this gift, or as I viewed it at the time, an utter annoyance and burden to my life. I mean, I was sure there was a reason for it, but I just didn't know why. One day, when I was about 12 years old, my Auntie Maureen passed away. She was the one person in my family that really got me, you know. I was really close with her. She showed me what it meant to really be loved and not looked at as a monster. And no, I didn't meet vampires at her funeral. They didn't bust into the wake and attack everyone, and I didn't save the day. Besides, the wake was in daylight, and if anyone knows anything about vampires, first thing to note is they can't be in the sunlight. However, it did happen shortly after her death. One night, on my way home from one of many detentions from one of my many middle schools that I attended in my adolescent years. I walked by the graveyard where my Auntie Maureen was buried. I decided to go to the local corner store and buy some flowers and lay them by her gravestone. And yes, as cliche as it sounds, that night was especially foggy, gloomy, ominous. So I went and I grabbed the flowers and proceeded to her gravesite. It was then that I encountered my first vampire. At first I thought it was just a man visiting a deceased family member. The man was hunched over the gravestone. He said nothing. He just sat there in complete silence. It was when I lay the flowers down that he first heard me. His head snapped around and he looked at me dead in the eyes. His head fully rotated around to the back of his body. I thought I was going insane. I blinked and blinked and blinked, but he remained there, steadily, gazing at me. When he started to approach me, I saw that he was covered in dirt and his eyes were blacker than the night. His mouth was dripping in blood, and there I saw them for the first time. Fangs. There wasn't any hesitation in my end. All of a sudden, it was like I had spidey senses, and they just kicked in. It was like the most intense epiphany that I could have ever imagined having. Everything fell into place in that moment. When I was face to face with my first vampire. I mean, you can probably guess what happened. I kicked his butt. And then I stabbed him in the heart with this little wooden vase that I had holding the flowers. Truly crafty on my part, if I do say so myself. My very first stake. Then I saw it. He let out a piercing wail and evaporated into a sad pile of dust at my feet. I felt this immense amount of euphoria. This is what I was meant to do. I think my Aunt Maureen knew all along, really. I mean, I think she must have led me there that night, forcing me to confront my destiny. Anyway, that's the story. Are you satisfied? Or do you wish you never asked?